Hello and welcome to episode 75 of the Pop Collectors Alliance podcast, the most Google searchable title of an episode ever, Talkin' That SMISH. Yes, I'm your host, Rick, as always, joined by my co-bearded co-host, Captain Strongbeard, Mr. Piper. Saturday night. Is it Saturday? I lose track of days in this whole quarantine mess. It's just like everything becomes Monday. So Sunday lasts straight through Monday. So what? It's Saturday, right?
I'm going to go with it is Saturday.
I will take it. We are back. The important thing to note here, it's not about the quantity of the episodes. It's about the quality of the episodes. And when you're like us and you get these superlative 1-star ratings,
1 star,
you know that the quality is great. So we're back and lots of things have happened. I wouldn't say tons of news. First, there were supposed to be tons of releases this year and we were all ready to go at Toy Fair New York. And then things happened. I don't know what happened. I mean, something happened, right? Between now and then. And Funko has announced that they're
canceling everything. They canceled everything. You don't get anything at all.
Christmas is canceled. Todd, you heard it. Christmas Clatter podcast is
Cancel the podcast.
So yeah, but then they said they're taking all of these releases away, right? They're like, oh, well, we're going to limit the releases. And then they proceed to throw out, this week it was all board games in the news feed that I got from Funko sales. But they have been saying that, hey, look, this is coming, that's coming. I think they've kind of pulled everything into those, what would we call them? The quality sales lines. Have it, is it Naruto now or Boruto now?
Naruto. I don't know. You act like I watched that show. I don't know anything about Ninja Boy and his fancy magic gang of friends. I think it's just Scooby-Doo with bandanas.
I was going to say the bandana thing. That's great. Yes. Scooby-Doo time with bandanas and they can do karate, but no, they stick to those.
Is that how they pronounce karate?
You didn't know that? That's how they pronounce it.
No, who does? Some made up children on the TV?
Yes. That's karate. I've heard it. It's not really pronounced that way, but still.
It's like referring to, like saying bagel. It's a bagel over there.
It's a bagel.
From Community. You ever watch that show?
No, I've never. Well, no, I take it back. I did watch some of the first season.
I hate you.
Our shows don't mesh, but that's fine. I mean,
what do you mean?
You don't like Trailer Park Boys?
What I don't. Okay, so it doesn't make any sense that you love Rick and Morty, and I also love the Rick and Morty. So why do you not like Community?
Community is okay. I just don't. It's weird.
It's comedic
it's not
gold.
Even in the sense of, I think it's, when you reach the maximum of something that you can watch in sitcoms that are kind of flavored in the flavor of Community or The Office or Parks and Rec. I think I hit maximum capacity, which doesn't make sense because I can watch Trailer Park Boys. I'm now going through it. I'm almost done with my 11th watch through from season 1 to season 13. It's bad.
Let me prime this with, it's nothing like The Office or Parks and Rec. It is a sitcom with no laugh track, but it is a completely different level of storytelling, and you can't even put them. They're not even in the same boat. They don't even own boats. One of them is like on a jet ski, and the other one is just like on a rocket ship. I mean, there's no boats involved.
So you like Community better than both Parks and Rec?
No.
And The Office, or is it like a second?
Parks and Rec is always going to be king of the castle, and there's nobody can argue that. You cannot change my mind on that one. But Community is just a different kind of funny, because like I feel like a lot of the humor, like you have to be, it's the same reason I like American Dad. Like there's some jokes in there that some people, it's gonna be like over their head. Like American Dad, they're making jokes about like the Iran-Contra. A lot of people have no idea what that is, and they're just like, okay, I don't know what I'm watching, but it's hilarious. Like Oliver North and all that other stuff. Like it's so funny the way that they spin that. I feel like Community is that kind of same way, as there's a lot of kind of like highbrow. I guess the proper word, highbrow comedy. Is that? I don't want it to sound like I'm smarter than you are, ha ha hee ha. But I mean, you know what I'm saying, right?
No, I completely agree with you. I would say that that's like a Rick and Morty type comedy
Yeah.
where
Well, I
it's
mean, that's
they
all. Oh,
use
what's his
obscure
name?
references,
Yeah.
right? Obscure references to make sense. And I was trying to explain that to my son about how he made a meme
Mm-hmm.
of he was watching Trailer Park Boys while I was watching it, and it's this one scene. It's my favorite scene of the whole series. It's right after. No one will get this, but it's fine. Caleb will get it. This is to you, Caleb. The scene where they burn down Ricky's dad's trailer, and they wake up like the next morning, and Ricky's cooking bacon in a pan, and he makes the bacon for his dad because his house burned down, and then Bubbles walks out of the tent or his shed that he's living in, and he comes up and he's like, "You got anything to eat?" And he's like, "I got bread heels and grease and bacon grease." And he goes, "Is that good?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, this is great. You go ahead and get your place. It's awesome." So he takes the bread heel and he puts it in bacon grease and he eats it, and he makes this like hilarious face where it's like, like it's disgusting. And so Luke made a meme that said, "We go together like bread heels and bacon grease." And I froze the picture of Bubbles' face like that. And I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's highbrow, but it's like always like an inside joke.
Yeah, it's an inside
And
joke. Yeah.
yeah. And Rick and Morty, man, did you see the latest episode?
Man, I have not watched any. I didn't watch the last episode of the first part of this season. So, and I haven't seen any of like the second part of the season. Yeah, because they
Yeah,
split
they
it
just
up or
came out with
whatever.
one so far. So I think they're
Okay,
good there.
yeah. So I'm not that far behind. I'm just, I guess, like 2 episodes behind.
But is that humor is so sophisticated. And sometimes, and I've even myself, I've had to go back and watch it a second time to completely get all the joke. And that's what I think is so funny about that show is that you can watch a season because I mean, sometimes you watch things in passing, but I've gone back to season 2, season 3, and I'll just be watching it and pick up on something like, oh wow, now I get that, I
Yeah,
didn't get it before.
it's very layered. Like you catch new things every time you watch it.
Yeah, every time. And
Yeah.
if Community's like that, I'll definitely go back and check it out.
Man,
Is Chevy Chase on it, or did he drop off after the first season?
no, he was on it for a good couple of seasons. There was there's a lot of drama involving Chevy Chase because he's just kind of like a garbage person, like in real life. Everything I've heard about him is he's just not a great guy, and that definitely translated to the show. And they did some interesting stuff with his characters, but the show is worth watching. I feel like the first season, just like a lot of shows, the first season is not the greatest, but it sets you up for everything that happens after that. But definitely second season on are amazing and it's worth watching. So I know that surprised me though that you've only seen the first season.
Yeah, I'll
Think you'll
check
like
it
it.
out for sure. I'll go back and look at it. I mean, it's not to say I wouldn't. I just at that
Just haven't.
time, you always look at like I said, your brain's just like, okay, enough sitcoms. Let's stop for a little bit. And then I haven't really been on any kind of rhythm with shows. I haven't had a lot of free time, but
Right.
we did go back and watch The Last Airbender, Avatar, which we're on the 3rd season. And I mean, you think that this is like a kid's show and like anime type. I mean, it's more cartoony type, but
Right.
typical like a kid's anime, Dragon Ball Z type, early days of Dragon Ball Z. It's really a great story the way that they tell it, and you can watch it and do stuff, but it's still interesting. I don't know if you get what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
So
I've never watched it before, so I don't really know anything about that. I've watched a little bit of Legend of Korra, and I know that is after Last Airbender. But so other than that, that's my only experience to that.
yeah, it's just crazy. But I think that if you look at the pops too for the Airbender, the Last Airbender, Avatar,
Uh-huh.
I'm mixing up that title.
I like how you had to find some way to roll Funko into this. Like, oh, we've been talking about TV shows for a real long time. Make sure that we kind of get in the thing we're supposed to talk about.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The pops though, they have increased in value exponentially. I haven't even looked at all of them, but I know that some of the commons, it's the same thing with Parks and Rec. We just talked about TV shows. The Parks and Rec pop, all of them are worth $30 or more pretty much now.
I was very surprised because I was going to sell all mine because I was like, oh, I'm tired of looking at these. They're all just commons. I'm going to get rid of them. And then one of our patrons messaged me. It was like, hey, I saw you talk about selling your Parks and Rec pops. And he was like, maybe by chance, you got a Leslie? And I was like, yeah, I got the whole set. And I went to look. It was like $50 at the time. I know it's down to like, I think she's like at like 35 or 40 now. But I was like, why is this so expensive? That's crazy.
Yeah, man, that whole set's over just the base set without any of the exclusives or convention exclusives. I think it's over like $200 now, which is incredible.
That is wild. Yeah. I mean, I sold a lot of mine. I have a couple of them left though. Like I still have Leslie and Lil Sebastian, and I think that's all the commons I have left, and then I have all of the not insanely priced exclusives.
Yeah, no Johnny Karate for any of us.
Nope, no Johnny Karate, no Mouse Rat, no Burt Macklin. I think those are the only three that I never was able to obtain.
Yeah, it's just crazy right now. And I've been pulling a lot of my collection down and getting rid of some pieces that I don't even care about that much anymore. And I've done this for a long time. I've got a lot of stuff to get rid of, but I forget how much of a pain dealing with people on eBay is. And just for an example, today, my auction for a particular item that was a con exclusive was going to end in maybe 15 minutes. And the person's like, hey, can you send me a close up of the picture of the sticker? And I was like, bro, it's a real sticker. Here's the close up. And he's like, no, I want you. So here's the next step because the fakes have gotten so great.
Yeah.
He wanted me to tilt the pop at an angle under the light so the light hit the sticker so he could see the bubbling of the sticker to know that it was put on factory wise and not post, because apparently the fake stickers that they take and put on, they're flat, right? They have no bubbling. They flatten out. But if it's factory wise, it's got a little bit of
slap
bubbling
it on there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so if you think about it, the stickers that they make compared to the ones that they put on in the factory, they're probably a little more dense. But I looked at it and I was looking at pictures of fakes, and it is true, which is, hey, that's information we can pass on to people, is that the fake stickers appear flat under light reflecting. You don't see bubbling. The sticker is kind of, I would not say a better quality, but it's kind of thicker. It's more dense, as well as when you compare it to the actual con sticker that was put on in the factory or wherever they put it on. It's kind of got like that layer of bubbling, like a light roller put it on, And I was like, I was completely, I was kind of, because I'm like, really, dude, you're going to wait until now to ask me this question. But then I was kind of happy to have that asked because I never even had thought about that before.
No, man. I just looked at I got this ruby rose that's sitting on my desk, and I was looking at that. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It has like a texture look to it.
Yeah. And if you look at it, even from the back, like looking at the back of the sticker through the plastic, you can see the little bubbles on there to where it was lightly put on, opposed to somebody putting it on later and taking credit for it.
That's wild. I've never noticed that before, but I mean, I've never really looked either, so I can't really say anything.
It's another way to figure out something. So that's pretty cool. But I thought that it was interesting because even though I said that, he's like, I've got to be sure. And I don't blame anyone from doing that because they don't know me from Adam. They're just like some dude. And I'm sure that a bunch of people on there try to scam people, but it's really weird because the whole eBay system, and I know we're going on, this is talking SMISH, so we can say whatever we want. We're just going on. I'm fine with tangents tonight, but people in environments like eBay or Macari, fill in the blank, they can go on there and sell fakes and then create different accounts. I guess they're not worried about it, but there's an end of that road, right? I mean, if you're going to sell fakes or you're going to try to take credit for selling fakes, you're eventually going to be banned, and
No,
they're going
no,
to
no,
find
no.
out who you are.
They're customs. You got to get this right, sir. They are customs. They are not fake.
Well, not everybody labels them as customs.
I know that, but I think that's the most asinine thing ever. Is your argument for selling a fake is, oh, it's a custom. No, it's not. You jerk. It's something you bought from China for a nickel, and you're trying to sell it for $150 like I'm a moron.
Yeah, and it's gotten really worse. I mean, don't you feel that way too? They've been
Yeah,
faking like everything.
stupid. I hate, and it's not even like, okay, I get from an entrepreneurial perspective. All right, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna try to fake the glow in the dark Scream Stabby Man, or I'm gonna fake the Bloody Predator, or some of the old Freddy's. I get faking those because you can make some money, some serious money, because you're gonna pay like whatever $10 to get it from China, and then you sell it for $150. That's a big markup. And okay, yeah, I get that. You're a scumbag, but there is some. I could see why you're doing it, trying to take advantage of the situation. I agree with it. You're scumbag. But some of the fakes that I've seen people putting out, you're like, why are you faking a pop that only has like a $20 market value and then try to sell it? Because I know you probably still paid $10 for it to get it from China. You're not making that much money. I guess it's along the same lines as all these other people that are, flipping stuff that they're only making $2 off of. I get it's quantity, but still, it's a waste of time. Don't waste my time with your fakes that I could still go to Walmart and buy. You try to sell me a fake that I can't get. Challenge me. Challenge me with it.
I have a conspiracy theory, and I may have said this before, on why the fakes are blowing up. And there's some of those, just like you said, some of the craziest items you would never think that they would fake, they're faking. Here's my theory. My theory is this. When tariffs were announced that they were going to come out, and it was a couple years ago, Funko, and even insiders have told us that they did this, so we can confirm it. Funko took a lot of their production out of China and moved it to Vietnam.
Yep.
And I think that they just left molds back there, and people were like, you know what? Well, I'm going to take this. People that may or may have not worked in the factories or been associated with people in it, you can take those molds home as long as you can have access to a small amount of vinyl. It can't be a tremendous amount, because you see the quantities that they're selling on eBay, it's in the hundreds, it's not in the thousands.
Yeah.
So they're making these off of those molds that were left over. And for them, the good part is a lot of those molds were probably, and this is completely conspiracy theory, so don't go out there and say that I'm, oh, this is what happened. No, I just think that possibly some of those got out or they just cast old pops, but I don't think that they're complex enough to be able to do that. And the numbers and quantities sort of fit that sweet spot. If they're going to have 96 of Bloody Brianna Tarth online from China, I think that's the right pop, because one, it was an item that was a common just without blood splatter, right? And they could have access to.
I mean, the other thing is it could just be like scrap pieces that they pulled out of a trash can and put one together, because we know that happened too, like with the Deadite from whatever Chainsaw Hands, the movie. The Evil Dead, yeah, because
Army of Darkness,
because the Deadite, there's a lot of fakes that were going around, and it had just like somebody dipped their toothbrush in some red paint and splattered it, and it didn't glow in the dark. Those were the fake ones. And you could tell, you could look at them, you could look at the difference, and you could see. And that's what they ended up doing was, they pulled scrap pieces and put them together and then painted it. So it's definitely kind of crazy. But I have noticed if you look at a lot of them from China, they're not actually vinyl. If you read the material that they're made up of, they're actually listed as being made of PVC instead of vinyl. So maybe PVC, I don't know. I've never actually cast anything. So maybe PVC is cheaper to come by or easier to find or something. But yeah, a lot of the fakes will actually be made out of PVC.
PVC, and a large amount of asbestos.
As much of it as you can find. All the paint is full of asbestos because that's the only kind they have.
40 years down the road, did you buy fake Funko Pops from China in the early 2000s? Well, you may be entitled to a settlement.
It's like you wake up in the middle of the night because you left the TV on, and you're like, you just wake up to a old man in a cowboy hat screaming at you because he's the Texas Hammer and he's here to help.
Dude, you hit it. I was gonna come in with that, dude. We are in the same thought. We're jumping from stone to stone together because I was gonna come in. Hey, it's me, Timmy Hammer. And
Timmy Hammer.
Tim Adler. I'm little Timmy Jr., the Texas Hammer. I was because it's his son at that time, right? It's like 60 years from now.
His grandpa, Jeff Adler, the Texas Hammer. I love it. Only people from Texas are gonna know exactly what we're talking about, and they're all like, hopefully, laughing because we did a good job representing what we saw in our youth late on TV.
Yeah, that's funny because they always find the people that take the settlements that can't really talk in front of a camera. And it's like, he's like, the Texas Hammer. And then I got a settlement for $400,000. The Hammer. And it's just like,
and then he's just like punching the front of a semi truck in half.
Oh man,
I miss it. We need to find those commercials. We should do a YouTube video where we just react to those Texas Hammer commercials, like all of them.
We'll get copyright striking.
No.
By the Hammer.
As long as we put our picture bigger than the infomercial that's playing in the bottom corner, we're good. That's how you get around it.
Oh yeah, reaction, because it's fair use in that case.
Yeah, I guess so. Something made up.
But it's funny because now you can't. They opened stores this week, so we went out today, and it was Mother's Day, and you went shopping earlier this week, I think, and we went and picked up Tiffany her Mother's Day present today. But we were out, and I was trying to explain to my son because my son and I have gotten into collecting cards a lot more. I've done it for the past 35 years, but on and off. But I think now it's kind of more hot for basketball cards because this rookie class is a really good rookie class. So people are out there looking for cards. So that prefaces the story, but what's so funny, Piper, about this is that it doesn't matter what it is anymore in society. If it's something that you can buy for $10 and sell for $80, which are these little blaster boxes at Walmart.
Blaster.
The scum of the earth come out of their holes and they're like, and my son doesn't understand it. He doesn't get it. So I'm trying to explain to him.
Like a basic microeconomics?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been trying the concept behind it. So he gets online, he looks at his phone, and he goes, Dad, Walmart says they have these in stock. And I go, son, that is not accurate. We're going to go there. We're at the house. We have to go grocery shopping anyway. So I go, we're going to go there. And I preface the whole trip. I go, we're going to go there. We're not going to be able to find them. We're going to go to an employee and they're going to be like, what do you mean? You need basketball cards? Well, them basketball cards in the front there, down there by register 11. That's where we keep them. And then you're going to be like, no, it says that these were in stock, but they're not on the shelf and they're not in there. Well, then we sold out of them because they ain't there on the shelves. And then you go, the next question will be, and I'm talking to my son when I'm saying this, you're going to say, well, are they anywhere else in the store? And then he's going to say, no, told you up there by register 11. And if they ain't there, they ain't in the store. And my son can't grasp that concept. He's just like, what? It says it's in stock. It's not there. But no one in the store can give you an answer. So we go, well, why? How can you tell? Can you tell? Can you check your inventory? And he's like, and then I go, no, don't ask that question because you're not going to get an answer. And he goes, but how do you know that? I'm like,
I've been doing
Funko
this
Pops
forever and ever. Amen.
And so he asked the guy, he's like, well, can you check? I got a barcode with a UPC. And he's like, no, can't do that. If they ain't over there now 11, then they ain't gonna be there. And so we didn't. Walmart, terrible. And my son's upset. And he's like bummed out because it said it was in stock. They weren't in stock. No answer. He even went to like the front register manager, the customer service manager, and he's like, hey, same story, same response, whatever. So we go to Target, and he's like, I want to check Target today, and shopping for Mother's Day present. Go to Target, and we go back to the electronics section, and this is a prime example of the different employees at both places. And I'm not down in every Walmart employee because
I am.
Don't get me wrong. We've gotten bad pushback in the back from Walmart employees. This isn't this case. It's just they're doing so much. They're just trying to get rid of you. Well, who cares? I'm down in that guy. That guy's didn't know what the hell he's talking about, and they never do. Let's just be completely honest. No one in that store, even me when I worked there, if you came up to me and asked me back in the day, hey, where's this? And I didn't know, I just say something to get rid of you. But we went to Target and we went back to the electronics section because in Target, they've moved the cards into that. Remember, they changed and created that collector section in the electronics area.
Yeah.
So they've moved cards back there now. So we go to electronics and my son asked the same thing. Hey, do you have this in stock? And the guy goes, you know what? Even if you have the DCPI, it's not going to read in our system because that is handled by a vendor.
Yeah, I was about to say that's why at Walmart they won't touch it, is because they have a company that manages the cards and they stock it, they track it, they do all that stuff.
Yeah, and so the Target employee goes on to say, he's like, the vendor comes in, he comes in every 2 weeks on Wednesday or Friday. He said the last time he was here was last Friday. He said, so don't expect him to come back until the Friday after next. He said, if you want to come in on Wednesday morning. He's here right when the store opens, or Friday morning. Try those days. He's like, I can't tell you which one it's going to be because it's either one of those two. He's like, but if you need if I see him, leave your number here and I'll give you a call. I don't know if the dude will give you a call, but I will tell you, leaps and bounds of difference in, quality of service from Target to Walmart. And I will say I've had bad experiences at Target too, but I would say overall, as far as feedback that they gave me just for that one story that I'm telling you now, 10 times better than what I got at Walmart.
Dude, that has so much to do with the quality of the working environment. I know so many people that either work at Target or have worked at Target, and they only have great things to say. And, of course, there's going to be the occasional person that just hated it because it wasn't their fit. But they just talk about how, like, the culture is so... They treat people with respect. They pay people a lot better at Target than they do at Walmart. I know that firsthand because I used to work at Walmart and I was a manager at Walmart. So I get how all that stuff goes. But I mean, that's, my wife and I were having that conversation the other day, not about Target, but fast food and stuff like that. And it all broke down to like how much that person that's working there cares about their job and how much they need that job, because like totally off out in right field, but Whataburger. Okay. We have a Whataburger in the town that I live in. And then there's a Whataburger in a town, in a like a area in Waco. Okay. So everybody knows I'm from that area. Okay. So the one in our town, it's full of like 15-year-old kids that work there because their mom and dad told them that they need to get a job, or they want extra money so that they could buy hair doodads or whatever it is the kids buy. Right. So that,
you sounded very old. Right
there. In my day, they bought hair doodads with all their extra money. My grandpa used to chew tar, but like off the street. Okay. Anyway, so this Whataburger is the worst. It's so bad. Like you go and you're like, I need a burger, and they're like, you want cheese on that? I'm like, no cheese and no onions. Add jalapenos. And they're like, wait a minute. You don't want onions, but you want jalapenos? I said, yes, that's correct. They're like, then why Did you say no onions? It's because these people I was speaking with thought a jalapeno was an onion. Like they are directly related somehow. So
Oh my God.
I was just like, my brain just leaked out of my ear, and I was like, I need to just cancel. I'm gonna drive away. So this is the worst Whataburger. But then you go over across town, over by the school that my wife teaches at. That Whataburger is amazing. It's spotless. The people are really nice. Granted, they're generally older people that are working there. It's people that need a job. It's people that, the area is not as nice, but it's, sometimes you just take the job that you can get, and that's what a lot of the people that work there are doing. And they actually care about their job. And that Whataburger is amazing. You tell them once, they get it right the first time. There's an old lady, someone's grandma is carrying a tray full of ketchups, and she comes over after you've already gotten your food and asks you if you need that or if you need anything else. You want some pickle relish? You want me to rub your shoulders? I can brush your hair for you. What about your teeth? All this stuff. I love that Whataburger. I hate the Whataburger by my house. I mean, I think it comes down to the same thing. The working environment at Walmart sucks. It is so bad. Like, I hated working there when I worked there, and I worked there for like a year. All right. It was garbage, but everything I hear about Target, people really like it. That is definitely a direct correlation. Like you're saying, they just want people to get away from them and not talk to them. Like, that's what they're doing. But the people at Target, they're actually, trying to help. They are more helpful people just because I think they're happier.
I also think that there's a second point to that the people that shop at Walmart, sometimes those people, they got a whole website dedicated to it. You don't see a People of Target website. You see a People of Walmart.
No.
So sometimes it's in dealing with those people all the time.
If there was a People of Target website, it would literally be just guys named Chad with board shorts on, or ladies that need to speak to the manager. That would be it.
Guys named Mike with a tap out t-shirt on.
Tap out and 2 Monster energy drinks, one in each hand.
There you go.
He's like double fisting them as he's talking to you about his weekend plans and why he needs a giant cooler.
Yes, and he's gonna get on his jet ski later. Yeah, exactly.
He needs that jet ski. Oh, we made it. Let's make that website. That's People at Target right there. Registering it now.
But that actually leads me into one of the topics I wanted to talk about tonight. And it's more along the lines of something that I've kind of come to a realization of, not only with my collecting, but just in anything that any hobby that I'm doing right now, is that the world is completely changed. It's never, let me go back for a second, because people are like, oh, you're just being angsty teenager and over exaggerating this. Yes, people have always flipped things. From the beginning of collectibles being introduced, these things are arbitrary. They are cards that are different colors and people like that. And you throw a number on it and you've just created pandemonium. I get it. Same thing with collectibles. If they're limited, they have a number, they're a Funko Shop exclusive, whatever. Big Pin, it all follows suit in that way. But the dynamics have changed. And I'm not even upset about that stuff anymore. I kind of fall right in line with it. And Piper, you and I had a discussion earlier in the week when we were on, and we had talked about when I went out to get cards and there was new cards that released on Topps, and I forget what it was. It's a baseball cards thing. I don't collect them.
Gross.
But people were in the what are they, reselling groups? They're actually reselling Discords, and they just give out information to all of these things and bots, and they sell stuff and make this whole secondary market. They even have Facebook ads for these things now. But there was
so
you
bad.
saw it, right?
It's so bad.
Learn to make money off of flipping things. So you could have bought this Funko Pop from the Funko Shop for $24.95, and it's selling right now for $50. Wrong. It's actually selling for $18. You just lost $5 on every one that you bought.
but it's volume based sales. You should have bought that blender. The blender is where the money's at.
The blender, and there's just all kinds of collectibles now. So, but it's changed. It's the hair clippers. They were buying them at Costco for $25 and reselling them online for $50 because people needed to cut their hair at home. So they were doing that.
Dude, there was a huge article on Vice. I think it was Vice the other day about people using bots to buy up all the Nintendo Switches and sell them for like $700.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a cultural phenomenon, and that's what I was. And it's crazy to the point where we have griped and complained over this for a long time and been curmudgeons about it. And there's sometimes when I want something that I don't want to resell, I just want it and I can't get it and I got to pay for it. I do get upset about it, but I've kind of moved past that because it's almost the norm now. And here's the thing that I'm going to say. No matter how much they hustle in the world of Funko, you can't buy enough Funko and resell it enough to make more money than me.
And it's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So I think that's how I moved past it. And it's okay if they want to do it. I get it. I don't have the time to do that,
bro.
And I'm not even.
You just gotta wait. Just wait 6 weeks, and then it's gonna be affordable because they're gonna run out and realize, oh wait, why did we buy 10,000 of these things? Now it's just dead stock.
You say that right now, but with cards, it's not that way.
No, I don't deal with that. I don't deal with that black magic. Not today, Satan. But
and it's completely different.
Yeah,
cards now. With this Zion class, and I'm not going to get into sportsy stuff. You guys know who watch sports and play into it. But this draft class in the NBA is probably one of the best draft classes we've had in maybe the past 20 years, or however long it was. It's been a long time since we've had a draft class that's been this good. So what started, and I'll give everybody an example of it, and we'll apply that to all collectibles in general right now. But when Prism is a card set that comes out from Panini, and that releases in like November, December, I think, of last year. When those cards come out, they're like for a hobby box, which is where you can get all of the limited stuff. The hobby boxes are originally selling, let's say, $200 or $300. Right now, you can't find one of those boxes for less than $1,250.
That's so much money for some cardboard pictures of dudes playing sports.
And it all stems from right now. If you got a Zion card that's numbered 10, it's going to sell for $10,000 to $20,000.
What? That you could buy a Honda Civic for that,
dude. It is crazy. Now,
so
National Treasures.
10 people. 10 people could buy Honda Civics. Free Honda Civics.
It gets. Let me tell you,
I want a free Honda Civic. Where do
this is about to be an elbow that drops on you.
Where do they keep these sports boy cards so that I can go buy a new Honda Civic? I desperately need one.
National Treasures.
What does that mean?
Is Panini's like flagship box of cards. They all have names. Prism. Optic.
Okay.
This is called National Treasures. It's like a pack of 10 cards, 9 to 10.
That seems like a lot.
You get on the bigger one. No, just one pack. They normally start them out at $800 for that one pack.
For a pack of 10 cards, it's $800.
Wait, dude, I'm about to blow your mind.
I'm going to light this room on fire. That is not okay.
So now they create these things that are called first off the line. Now these have super rare limited cards in them, but they're first off the line. They do what they're calling Dutch auctions, where they set a price really high. This is what Panini does. Even the actual producer of the cards is flipping their own cards. So they start the auction out for let's not even say National Treasures yet. We'll build to that. But for Impeccable, which is the secondary card set to that National Treasure set, they started the Dutch auction out at like $1,500 or $2,200. Sorry, $2,200. Every 15 minutes, it decrements like $100. When it sells out, it sells out. So no one knows where it is. They're hoping that they sell them all for $2,000, right? Things that would normally cost in a regular year with not this crazy draft class and people flipping like crazy. They basically set things based off of what they think prices are, based on what eBay sales are on other card sets. So National Treasures, now we get to it. National Treasures, first on the line, normally selling for $800 to $1,000. They're going to start them out at around $5,000 for one box of cards that has a pack with 10 cards in it.
I hate everything that you just said. Like, there's not one thing that I'm like, I understand that. No, there's zero understanding there. First of all, Dutch auction sounds like a slur, like it's like a Polish joke. Like you don't know how an auction works, so we're gonna call it a Dutch auction. That sounds terrible. First of all, second of all, why no? Don't spend $5,000 on pictures of people playing a sport. I can go to the high school and take some of those, and then I'll Photoshop them so it looks like they're all playing football on the moon, and then I will put some glitter in it, and then I will sell those to you for $5,000. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I get that people like sports. I don't understand $5,000 for cards.
Okay. So I agree with you.
I say that. Hold on. I say that. I understand $5,000 for toys. I don't understand it for pictures of adults playing sports.
But see, here's the difference.
Yes, tell me the difference.
Big difference. When you buy a $5,000 toy, you're guaranteed to get your value in that $5,000 toy.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all. You spend $5,000 on your Game of Thrones pop collection. How much is that worth?
But what I'm saying is that at the time, if I know I'm buying into it, for me, I didn't spend $5,000. I hope I didn't. I think I spent more like $3,000.
That's a lot of thousands.
It's a lot of thousands. But I sold other things, so it's not really spending. It's messing with profit, I guess.
Yes.
And now I have no profit.
no profit to speak of.
But when I buy a Freddy Funko, limited to 12 pieces, and I spend $3,000 on it, I know that will always be worth a good amount of money.
Yes.
Opposed to I spend $5,000 on one pack of cards, and there literally could be $100 worth of cards in there. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. There literally could be $100 worth of cards in there.
I would fight somebody. I would get in a fist fight with the closest person.
Well, here's my point in all this.
I hope you have a good one.
This is a great point, because this ties into, this is like I said before with flipping, and it's just a cultural phenomenon now. So when the price is right, and this ties into our mystery box discussions and all the things that we talked about in the past. When the price is right for your win, right? If the price is right. So let's talk about the biggest win that you're going to get out of this box. A Zion RPA. That's called a rookie patch auto. It is the card to get of any rookie. It is the best card that comes out of National Treasures. It is the card that will sell for the most. It's an on-card autograph with a patch. If you get just the regular,
like you could put it on your denim jacket,
a piece of their jersey.
Okay,
that's what it is in there. So you can get a rookie patch auto, an RPA Zion, which they call the true RPA, which is, they have rookie patch autos and all their other products, but a true RPA is what they deem like it's from numbered to 99 and below. So they're different sets, and there's different. I could go into this for hours, but I'm not going to. A true Zion rookie patch auto that's numbered to 99 is going to sell. They're estimating right now anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000.
What?
Just for a card numbered to 99. Not for the cards that are numbered, less than that, because they have different variants. They have ones to 75. They have an RPA to 50 or 49, an RPA to 10, 15, 25, and 1 of 1. So all of those RPAs, could you imagine what a Zion 101? It might go for over $200,000, $100,000, $200,000, somewhere in that range.
No, it's not allowed to.
But this is to scale, right? This is pushing it to scale on pop figures. So this is what I always said, pop figures or any figures in general. If you theorize about this, how the way that you create value, the way that card companies have, they have literally created value. People will go out and buy a $5,000 pack of cards on a chance of one of those cards out of a card set that has, 100,000 possibilities. There's 100,000 boxes out there. They're going to spend that money on the chance of getting a 1 in, out of that would be maybe a 1 in 50 chance, which is a good chance considering all the other card boxes, because you got to think I can't do the odds because there's too many odds in my head, but a box of Prism, that set has like 300 cards in it. if you get a gold card in your set, it's of one of those 300 players. So there's the chance of getting a gold card in your box, right? Whatever that chance is, 1 in 100, to then getting the gold card of the player that you want, Zion. That's 1 in 300. You multiply those odds, you see what I'm dealing with. But it's the phenomenon that people put behind collectibles in general of saying a mystery box, right? They will spend the extra money for a chance and be okay with losing it, which I'm part of that group. Completely agree. But that has compounded that secondary market into what it is today. And that applies across the board. And it differs because you're buying cards here, but you're not guaranteed. But in the case of, like you said, you made a great point. You're buying a collectible, right? That you may or may not hold its value or lose its value. So same principle.
Unless you're buying like a Alex DeLarge chase, then it's going to hold its value forever.
Yes, you're exactly right.
That's the only way. But okay, so you're comparing this to mystery boxes, but there's a difference here. So with a mystery box, say we're doing a hunt. So these companies do like Hunt for the Chase, or they'll do like Casino Royale, or they'll do like these big like high roller boxes. Okay, I'm going to spend $250 or $500 on a high roller box for a chance to get something that's maybe right now currently worth say $550 to $750. Okay, I could just go and buy on eBay maybe that same pop. Okay, you are not going to be able to do that with a super fancy expensiveness card because you're talking about a lot of money. I love your terminology. You are talking about, if you're talking about a $5,000 card and you're looking at investing what $2,000 to $1,200 to $1,000, like you're not going to have, well, you are, okay, because we've already established people are crazy and they don't know how to use money properly. But I mean, you have, it's just two different worlds right there, man. If you have a potential for $100,000 card, I get the gamble. Like, I get the gamble with cards. It makes a lot more sense. I know I'm talking all this trash, but whatever. It makes more sense for the gamble on the cards than it does for the gamble in like a mystery box, because it's more, or waffles. It's more realistic for me to just go out and buy that thing that I want than for me to like cross my fingers and hope and then probably take a loss on it. So it's different.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm not saying it's not different. I'm telling you it's different, but it's only different in the way that it's pushed to scale. So the scale is different, right? So for a mystery box, I have a 1 in 50 chance I'm getting money. What'd you say?
I said much different.
Yeah. For a mystery box, you have a 1 in 50 chance, whatever. For a card set, you have maybe a 1 in 200 chance. You're not guaranteed anything. But the value of this class is that you could get cards like, so let's say I spend $1,200 on a box of Prism right now. There's 4 rookies in there in any set, and then vets that can fall in there that give you a certain amount of your money back. You will be guaranteed in a box like Prism where you have 12 packs of cards. You're guaranteed to, at the very least, get at least $200 to $300 back in the value of just the cards there. That's it. Very different from mystery boxes and things along those lines, but it's just pushed to scale because you could go Hunt for the Chase. There's 300 boxes. There's one pop in there. You're paying $15 a box. You spend $100 on a box. Your chances haven't really greatly improved that much to get that big chase item out of 300. But it's what I'm saying is more to the point. And you're right. It's different, but it's just unique in its way where people have capitalized on that to the point where and I even talk to card shop owners because I'm always a people watcher. I like to see how people react and function to things. And when I talk to card shop owners and I'm like, what's going on? Because card values, even through this whole coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic, it's been going up. It went down just a little bit initially, but then after that, people jumped on that train, and it's just the power of the secondary market. And I see that you can look back at Funko in 2015, 2016, and you follow the power that the secondary market brings. But I will say this, and it's something that you and I cautioned, and you can elaborate on it even more. But at that time when it was going on, we're saying that the scales are uniquely balanced. And if the secondary market can drive your prices up, they can destroy your market. And I feel that in Funko's case now, with the amount of releases, the market doesn't exist anymore as strong as it did before.
No, I mean, I would say the only true market that still exists is for either really old pieces or really rare pieces. There is not really a market anymore for like hot drops. Like, I don't know, like the ones that just came out, the Johnny Bravo and Dexter Boy.
I was waiting for the name.
I couldn't think
like you
of
to
it.
create one.
I couldn't think of it. Science Boy. Like, yeah, there's some value in those now, and that was really the first time in a long time that there has been something that has that hype behind it. You know, it's I don't know, it's a very different kind of monster now, and I'm realizing that more and more.
The monster that it has become, and people dedicating their entire lives to the buy and sell of these items. And you can see it. I've watched the Vice episodes where they talk about sneakerheads and that kid that's turned himself into a multi-million-dollar empire just by starting off of flipping shoes. If you dedicate enough time to it, if you put enough effort into it, and you don't have a job, in the sense of, especially like right now in this time, there's a lot of people without jobs. So this is, I think that that's where the prices have been driven, is because a lot more people are dedicating time to it. And you could literally learn how to do all of this. And I hate saying the word
Literally.
but you could learn this in 2 days and be functional at it.
That's not a very good skill if it's that easy to learn, right?
Well, but it's just one of those things, man. It's just that niche type thing that someone can throw themselves into and just capitalize on it immediately. I mean, there's so much stuff out there that you can flip. There's even coins, dude. They release these coins, they resell them. Pins at Disney. You can, if you have a good coverage and you're dedicating 10 to 12 hours a day, just like anything else. If we took this podcast and we were dedicating 10 to 12 hours a day in our content and producing things, we would be billionaires. I mean, probably not billionaires, but
billionaires. You know. I'm holding you to that. I'm quitting my job right now. I'm texting my boss. I'll let him know I quit because I'm going to be a billionaire talking about toys on the internet.
But it's just like anything. You put yourself into it. You put a lot behind it. You can make it into quote unquote a success. And I think a lot of these people right now in this time and where we are, and we've always said, the no flip zone. But I think we live in a reality that speaks differently to that altogether, because now it just is the flip zone. And a lot of times you just live in it. I mean, everything that you want, from cards to collectibles to hair clippers. It's just toilet paper, hand sanitizer. We live in a world of opportunists and in a economy that is mainly service based, and no one can go out to get service. There's opportunity, right?
I hope so. I don't know. I've lost all track and sight of everything being locked in this house.
Oh man. But that goes to show, I mean, everybody out there, I'm not even speaking negatively about it. I just wanted to inform everybody. I think one thing that we do on this podcast is point it out where it's happening and sort of give a backstory on it and how it ties in all together. And I know we went on about cards, but it wasn't truly a story about cards, but everything in general, to the sort of life that we live in now, with how you adjust as a collector. And, there comes a point where our collectors, and I'll ask you this, Piper, if you are an avid collector of something,
feet,
and we all know that you can't get all of the releases every time that you get them. Should you as a collector invest in a bot?
Should I? Okay.
Will that time come?
This
That's all I'm saying.
this is like you're putting my feet live in the fire right now. Should you? You know what?
Well, will that time come? Will that time come? Will it be there eventually? If you want to get things at face value, will that time come? Because I see over time, and since you and I have done the podcast, the people and collectors that get things, the numbers slowly tick down, especially when things are hot, versus the people who are reselling getting them.
Man, I think that really has to do with what it is that you're collecting, right? Because there are some collectibles out there that the companies actually care about who is getting their product. Like they want it to get into the hands of people that are going to appreciate it. Really good examples of that. I think Figpin has done a good job with it. Bim Toy has done an amazing job with controlling that. Tenacious Toys, whenever they do like large drops, and they're not a toy manufacturer, but they distribute toys, they sell toys, and they do an amazing job. I think the guy who owns, his name's Benny. He goes through every single order and just verifies it, and if it's orders coming from other countries, like he scrutinizes these like super deep, and he makes sure that these are getting into the hands of people who will actually appreciate them. So the companies like that, if a lot of these larger companies can kind of shift more into that direction, I'm gonna say no, you don't, but you may have to sign up for a club or something like that, like Bim Toys. That's a great example because they do the Paradorable Society, and I think maybe one or two things in the past like year since I've been a member have I missed out on, just because I've been a member of that. And I'm in the Facebook group, and you get all the newsletters. As long as you're on top of it, it is a doable thing. As long, you got quick fingers too. There's a little bit of luck involved, but I mean, then if you have other products, like you have companies that they don't care about that. There's no interest in, they just want to make their dollar bill, y'all. Then those companies, I think it might be a realistic thing to, have to look into that. But then you get into you have to get into that whole world with everybody wearing clothes that I don't like, and then they're like vernacular is just like, oh, please use full words. And by the way, I'm just gonna say, if I had to give out one warning last week in the Facebook group. Don't come in there and start don't talk about how you're gonna cop that or auto cop or that's a brick nobody needs to buy. Get that out of here. I don't want to hear it. I don't like it. I guess I'm old. I'm 35. Does that make me old?
I don't like you kids walking down the street in your Daisy Duke shorts and tank top shirts. It's just an abomination.
Too much skin for my old man eyes. No, just I don't know. I mean, you will be forced to get into that whole world, whether you want to or not. You have to hear people talk about shoes all the time. I don't care about your fancy shoes or your $170 t-shirt that you're wearing that says Michael B. Jordan on it, but he didn't have any input designing it. I don't care about that. I might just want to use this robot to buy my things. It's too much. It's too much, man. So maybe someone will release a bot that is not just the douchiest thing ever. I'm sorry, you sneakerheads, if you listen to this podcast for some reason. I'm not sorry, but I'm not trying to hurt any feelings. But I mean, that's kind of the honest truth. You're gonna have to put yourself into that culture because that's who uses it, and it's a weird kind of thing because I've done my research, I've looked, and I know kind of how this works. And you can't just go and buy a bot. You have to win the chance to give these people your money, and then you have to get in their Discord servers, and then you got to then spend all this other money on proxies. And so there's lots of layers. There's education that's involved in it. There's just being around these people that's involved in it. And it's not as easy as you would think it is. So maybe if that process became simplified, it was a more general person friendly kind of thing, then I think, yeah, maybe it's worth it just to be able to fight. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer kind of thing.
Yep. Keep your friends close and steal your enemy's toaster.
Steal your enemy's toaster. It's what do you say? It's water under the fridge.
Water under the fridge, guys.
All right, so maybe.
Look, I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optometrist.
So at some point, if all the cards aligned, then yeah, maybe it's a thing that people need to look into. But I honestly think that there's still a chance that you don't need it.
I agree with you and disagree with you.
Boo.
But I think we completely agree because we kind of have the two separate things that we're talking about. I think that I agree with you completely. Fig Pen, BIM Toy, Abominable Toys, all the above. They do a great job of canceling orders. But when you push that market to scale, Hasbro, Mattel, Funko now,
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, they ain't really, you ain't botting Hot Wheels. The botting Hot Wheels is getting close to that Walmart truck driver and be like, hey, Benny, what's up, Benny? When you run them Hot Wheels in there, daggone boy? And he's like, I got them Hot Wheels. I'll give you a text. Slip me a 20. And then you buy a bunch of Hot Wheels and you get all the super chases. And then you can buy them for $3 and sell them for $14.
Oh my God. That is a crazy markup. No thanks.
Whoa. Yeah. I think those guys more passionate about collecting, not really passionate about flipping and reselling, but the scale. Somebody like, who was the example that you used? They're not a toy maker, but
Tenacious Toys.
Tenacious Toys. He looks at that, but there comes a point, let's say he gets hundreds of thousands of things that he can release. He can't do that at that level. They have to put some R&D into it. Like, is it worth it to them, the return on investment? Because you're probably not going to get, it's creating something that's counterintuitive to what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell your product, right?
Yeah.
And it's counterintuitive to you doing that. So a company at scale like Funko that makes 90,000 of an item, or, and they really limit 3,000 piece items now. They practically non-existent. But when they do, it's just a problem. They're just like, oh, well, whatever. Who cares? We try to do a lot by you. We've tried. And people are their own worst enemy because people just create problems sometimes. Woo, I didn't even get my Fun Days tickets. I got in there in 12 seconds. It's like, dude, there was 4 tickets to get over it.
12,
you know what I mean?
12 seconds is an eternity when you're trying to do stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think that there's always going to be those niche companies that are going to be able to put their arms around the figurative throat of bots and just choke them out. And they're not going to win. But I think the thing that happens with people who are reselling and flipping all the time, the hype beast and in general, the problem is that no one has ever taught these morons manners. Their dads just beat them with they
didn't have dads.
Sticks off of a tree. They're just like, hey, we go get a stick off the tree. What you doing, boy? You playing Minesweeper on that computer? Get in here. I'm going to whip you down, boy. And then they're like, Dad, I don't want to do this. I'm going to grow up one day and I'm going to get sneakers. I'm going to sell them for $500 more than they're worth. And I'm going to brag to everybody when I get 50 of them. And I'll be a success. That's how they live their life. Market.
Oh, okay. All right. I can agree with you on the whole, the scale thing. But the thing is, if you look at what we are dealing with, right, what we're talking about, the horns in which we are tooting, we are talking about companies that are small, and those are the companies that have items that are worth money. Okay, I don't think that
you would call Funko small.
No. I'm not even talking about Funko now. Okay, because yes, Funko, they have broken out of this little arena that we're discussing, and they shot through the roof. And now they have they're mass producing things. I mean, before they were mass producing too, but not on the same scale. But if you look at these other companies we're talking about, we're talking about Abominable, we're talking about Fig Pen, we're talking about BIM Toy. they are so hot because everything that they're putting out is limited production. Well, not Fig Pin, because they have 19,000, versions of the same pin. But and nothing against them. I'm not going to sit here and dump on Fig Pin. I love what they're doing. That was me trying to make a joke. So, but Fig Pin, they're doing like 1,000 of a specific pin or 3,000 of a specific pin. You look at Bim Toy, they're doing 300 pieces or 200 pieces. A bottle of toy, same thing, 350 pieces. Okay. These things are in such high demand because they're limited items. They're in such high demand or the value is so high because there's so few things. Those are the people that I think are going to kind of like, they are the ones that are going to run the market. And these are the ones that, the hype beasts are going to go after, but they're the ones that are going to have the most control, because I don't think there is and maybe I'm wrong, but there is not a concern to scale that to a large, the same format like Funko has, where they're producing 90,000 of an item. I don't think a lot of these companies want to get to that point. And we talked about Tenacious Toys.
Really?
I don't think so. I honestly don't think
everybody wants to be a millionaire, dog.
You could be a millionaire without sacrificing your, I don't want to say values, but I mean that the same concept.
You could be a millionaire and still keep your soul.
Well, I mean, like, look at it. I mean,
no, I know what you mean. You can sell enough small,
to
be big.
Yeah, and we talk, and I talk about Tenacious Toys because they do that. They focus only on these really small runs. Some of the stuff that they put out are like 20 pieces because they're like hand-painted, handmade toys. So, I mean, on these smaller guys, I think that they can do that. And if that's what you care about, then I think you don't need to focus on a bot for those. But yeah, man, when you start getting into like Lego or like anything like Hasbro that you're collecting, that stuff it's almost, I mean, I don't know. It just comes down to what you want. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Is it?
No, you're right. You have to, man. We are on the same wavelength today. That's the point in all of this. You nailed it. It comes down to this: collecting in general, whether it be for pop figures or fig pin or baseball cards, you collect the things that you want and be mindful of value. I get that, but value is arbitrary when it comes to getting the things that you want. Like if I like Fight Club, to me, if I pay $50 for a Fight Club chase opposed to spending a day looking for one out there, that value to me is just getting the chase. And it doesn't, yes, value is nice to have, but value for a collector is sort of different than value for someone who's in it to sell, right? Value to me or you, we get upset like when I spend all of my Dragon Ball Z collection, big pieces, to build Game of Thrones, and then they lose all their value. So if I wanted to ever like get back my, Dragon Ball Z and I want to get rid of my Game of Thrones, that's not happening, bro. That ship has sailed.
Mm-mm.
That ship is in China right now. It is nowhere near me. So that's where we care about value. But in the end, if you get the things that you want, then you should be happy. And that's what I tie to every collecting soul out there. And we all feel the same way. We love the things that we collect. We collect the things we collect because we love them. You love WWE. You have an incredible WWE collection. And I love Game of Thrones, and I still have an incredible Game of Thrones pop collection. If it's worth, $1,000 or $10,000, to me right now, it doesn't matter. I'm bummed that I lost money on it, but I'm still glad that I have the pieces that I do. And whatever you collect in the future, what you're trying for, you have to be mindful of that secondary market because it makes your collection become more expensive. But in the end, it doesn't hurt to, like we always say, be a little bit patient.
Also, it's Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. I had to look it up.
Yeah, I said Tim Adler. Timmy, it's me. I'm his great grandson, and I'm gonna bring the hammer down on y'all for reselling them pop figures. Oh wait, I mean drinking and driving.
It's did you crash an 18-wheeler? You better get a good lawyer.
Because the hammer is coming after you.
Oh, such good ads.
But I think that's a good episode. It just, to me, it's just kind of, I wanted to get that off my chest. I wanted to get that off of my chest for a while because I think that and people have created this content. We've created this content before. People have created content all around the world about flipping. We get it. But at the end of the day, we all live in this world and it's something that you have to deal with. And the best part of obtaining things as a collector is understanding your enemy. And I'm not saying they're our mortal enemy, but they're people that are trying to get things that we want and resell it to us. So the better that you understand their tactics and the things that they're doing to get things, and you adapt to it and you overcome it, you can almost certainly do it. I mean, you can join these Discord groups. You could pay money for it if you really, really wanted to, or you could get a bot and figure out how to work it and just bot for yourself and just get one item every time. I mean, I don't see a problem in that. They're not going to ever flag you for it, So if you get a bot and you buy one thing, I'm not going more power to you because
I ain't gonna be mad.
You get what you get. You know what I mean? You don't throw a fit.
That's right. So we saved my daughter, and then she throws
crisscross applesauce.
She throws a fit and throws a rock at my face. Just saying.
Violence is not the answer.
That's what it is.
All right, I want to wrap up this episode with one tiny topic, one thing about Funko in the news. And if you're a Funko stockholder, you're a little bit happy right now. A Funko stock did grow by the amount of almost a complete $1 towards the end of last week.
Woo, $4 there was
almost $5.
Oh.
It's like $4.78. And if you bought like me at $3.60 or $3.70, you are feeling pretty good. I do own a lot of Funko Shock. I do own a lot of Funko stock, and I am drunk. No, not really. But just a disclaimer. But I will say that earlier this week, towards the middle of the week, their earnings per share came out a little higher than what they had anticipated. Sales were down. That was anticipated for first quarter. However, they did secure new financing that will allow them to restructure long-term debt. So as investors, that's a good thing. If you did get in early and buy Funko stock, I will tell everyone right now, if you don't need your stimulus checks, invest it in the stock market. Do it. Buy the things. I mean, everything, it's already going up. This is eventually going to be over. Take away politics and everything else out of the scenario. It's bound to go up from this bottom. So Funko stock was not a bad option. I do think investors have seen that when you do things like that, you secure financing. Sometimes it says, okay, well, people at least have the faith that you're not going to screw the pooch, and your long-term viability seems a little more secure. So that's why you saw an uptick in the stock. Hopefully that keeps going, get back up to $20 and I can just retire because I just bought more stock. So let's do it. What do you think, Piper?
I got Funko stock, not as much as you do, because my house ain't made of money. You just live in a log cabin made out of burnt $1 bills.
Yeah, like what is that show? The Ozarks, where they
I cannot watch that show. Well, we would talk about a lot about like television.
See, I told you our shows just don't align. I love Ozarks.
I can't. I like Jason Bateman. I can't take him serious though. Like, I love him as a comedic actor. I do not like him in a serious role. I just can't do it. It's like there's certain people that I'm like, no, you need to be saying funny things.
Arrested Development ruined that show for you. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, well, and he was in a couple of movies that I really like. Like, he was in Horrible Bosses. Like, I loved him in that.
My Jason Batemans need to work at banana stands. That's all I want.
Every movie he needs to be owning a banana stand, because that's where all the money's at.
That's where the money's
There's
at.
always money.
Bananas.
Always money in the banana stand. That's what it is.
So yeah, they hide money in the walls in the Ozarks,
Yeah.
but you don't know that. So okay,
So we got any news for us?
what do you mean?
I don't know.
News for us? I don't know. I don't think there's any news for us. We're here.
We we
We're still
we
alive.
finally remembered how to do a podcast.
Yeah, this happens. This happens. I would say, but I've been through it so many times. The work gets crazy. I do my best. Sometimes my best is not good enough. For that, I apologize. But it is what it is, folks. Got to make the bread,
It is.
and gotta make that bread.
Well, if you have missed this podcasting, I'm gonna shameful plug myself. Is I started streaming on Mixer. So if you want to come and hang out with me, if you're missing our voices, you can at least come and talk to me while I play video games.
Shameless plug. Where do they find you at?
Mixer.com/Captain Strongbeard.
There you go.
CPTN Strongbeard.
I get 20% of all royalties
I already
from that likeness.
all no money that I make. My whole 20 people that watch me.
Oh, we'll think about stuff in the future as
Aw.
we come out of this and this goes out. We'll play some more games and do some more live streams. There's no conventions this year, so that's kind of depressing. But whatever. Who knows?
It'll work out.
We'll all be in tents in the woods somewhere in 6 months, eating cow patties and whatever we can stab with a
They're
stick.
supposed to burn. We're burning cow patties for fuel. We're not eating them.
Oh no, you have to eat them. You'll have to eat the maggots out of them to live.
No, stop.
This post-apocalyptic world that we will soon be living in.
There's some Mad Max stuff is about to go down. That's what it is.
If you listen to Alex Jones, then that's what's going to happen. So, that's the truth because it's on the internet.
But
And that's what we're in the show.
but it's satire, so
Leave on a positive note. That's what we always say here at the Pop Collectors Alliance podcast. Big shout out to our patrons out there. Patreon boxes will be going out. I'm kind of like, to me, I get worried, man. I don't know who's touching things at the post office. Like when I get a box from the post office, I'm like wiping that cardboard down with hand sanitizer, but I will send out the Patreon boxes. They should go out this month. If you're not a patron, like we always say, go to patreon.com/Pop Collectors Alliance, select a tier that's right for you. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Pop Alliance Pod. Go to facebook.com/Pop Collectors Alliance. You can go to Facebook and find our unique, awesome, great. Are we past 1,000 members yet? Close to 1,000 member group.
no.
Called the official Pop Collectors Alliance group, and request to be joined, answer a few questions, and then we will deem you worthy or unworthy to grace our presence. And then always, if you feel like giving us a 1-star rating, because obviously we tell you to give us 5 stars, anything else, and you hate us, but I guess it's 1 star it is for us. So on this Saturday night, you can go to Apple Podcasts. You can go to any place where podcasts are. We want ratings and reviews at any one of those. It does a number on pushing out our information across the web spheres and intro nets everywhere, the interwebs. And just search for Pop Collectors Alliance on Apple Podcasts. Click on our beautiful little icon, scroll half the page, and you'll see 5 little stars there. Click on the 5-star, not on the 1-star.
Don't get confused, please.
One on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 is the best. 1 is we want you to live in your car down by the river. So think about that when you click the 1 star. Piper and I around one of those $20 Walmart grills with a rat on it down by a river somewhere. Yeah. So until next time, I'm Rick.
And I'm Piper.
Stay healthy out there and good night.
Bye. Time to go. See you later.
Love you.
Bye-bye.